Okay, and we are live. Let's go. So, as you can see, guys, it's 11:50. Almost. I don't know why this is already the wrong time, but oh well. So today we are going over all the slides and all of everything. Listen, guys, I realized something very unfortunate. There are two parts to this exam. Okay, part 1 we took on Monday. Part 2 is tomorrow in 8 minutes or 9 minutes when it's Wednesday. So, we really do not have any time. I learned Travis trees, so I think I'm good on that. That should be last. Let's prioritize what, in what order should we study? Let's see. I feel like the coding bits are a little bit too long, but they are very important as well. The introduction is really straightforward. So we're gonna put all the stuff that don't matter here. Ignore that screen time. So I think the order in which we're gonna do this is like, so we're gonna do the crash course, linear algebra, and then statistics. Okay, so let's do this. Okay, so no, it's not a comprehensive. Welcome. So today we are studying the slides, the actual slides. Okay, it's 11:53. I got my blueberries. So we are ready to study. You know, it was pretty unfortunate that I couldn't be bothered to look at the slides, and I realized that was a big mistake because, you know, you see all these Instagram reels of like people using AI to study and acing the quizzes because they use like Turbo or something. That's what I tried to do. And literally the first question was, who made Python? And I didn't know. Why? Because I didn't look at the slides. If I looked even for 1 second, I would have gotten that question right. There goes a whole 4% of the exam. So my hopes are not high because I guessed on a few. Anyway, so we're going to look through all the slides. No shortcuts, nothing. We're going to read, we're going to grind, and yeah, let's start. So this is not a comprehensive Python tutorial, but instead is intended to highlight the parts of the language that will be most important to us, some of which the urge to just skim and skip it already. Reading is not my favorite thing in the world. It's my least favorite. One time I failed an exam because of the reading section. It was a really important exam. Anyways, if you have never used Python before, you probably want to supplement this with some sort of beginner tutorial. Is there a way to go on D&D, bro? Let me see. Oh, we're on D&D now. So, introduction. This guy made Python, and I failed to answer that. It really makes me upset because you study so much of the syntax, right? You study so many quizzes for hours and hours and hours, and something simple like this on the exam you don't get. It's not fair. It's not fair at all. There was no study guide either. You just have all this material. Anyways, Python is conceived in late 80s by Guido van Rossum in Netherlands. It's an open sourced from the beginning. All my viewers left, except one. Thank you for staying. Open source from the beginning, it is the world's fastest growing and most popular programming language. Widely used engineers, mathematicians, data analysts, scientists, accountants, etc. Very beginner-friendly programming, multi-purpose language that is used in a broad range of tasks such as data analysis and visualization, AI, machine learning, mobile and desktop app, as well as software testing, etc. Considered a scripting language to automate repetitive tasks, but is much more high-level and cross-platform language. Any questions? Anybody in the chat? Feel free to ask. Install Anaconda. Anaconda is a package manager, an environment manager, Python R data science distribution, and a collection of over 7,500 plus open source packages. Anaconda is free and easy to install, and it offers free community support. Hello, Mr. Yi Feng Jiang. Thank you so much. Yeah, you are a big motivation. You know, this is why I live stream it, because we have supporters here. Yes, that's the, yeah, I don't know English right now. That's the way to go. Anyways, the Jupyter Notebook is the original web application for creating and sharing computational documents. It offers a simple, streamlined, document-centric experience. Yeah, I'm just saying, like, thank you for your support. Like, yeah, just like that's the vibe that we go for in this channel, right? We are just students trying to study and pass all the exams and give our best shot and hope for the best, You know what the motto is? Aim for an A, expect a B, avoid a C and below. Yeah, so the Jupyter Notebook app can be launched by clicking on the Jupyter Notebook icon installed by Anaconda in the Start menu Windows, or by typing in Terminal command on Windows. This will launch a new browser window or a new tab to show the notebook dashboard, a sort of control panel that allows, among other things, to select which notebook to open. White space formatting. Many languages use curly braces to delimit blocks of code. Python uses indentation. Alright, that's important because Python is the only language that does not use curly braces for delimiting blocks of code, right? Python is made to be beginner friendly, so we just use indentation like this, right here. This indent, this indent. Anyways, the pound sign marks the start of a comment. Python itself ignores the comments, but they're helpful for anyone reading the code. So yeah, that's why Python is made that is like closest to like human understanding compared to other languages. Is this one science? That's a good question. It is data science. So it's not like, yeah. So incorrect indentation causes error. Comments start with hashtag to comment uncommon or uncomment a block using CTRL plus / or use these quotation marks. Colon starts a new block in many constructs. For example, function definitions, if then clause, for, while, etc. That makes sense, right? Does that make sense? Because look here, we have for, and then, yeah, so if then clause, for, while, that's each one starts a new indentation. You got this. I'm going to as well, supporting others as well. Okay, have a good day. See you later. And thank you for stopping by and watching. Anyways, white space is ignored inside parentheses and brackets, which can be helpful for long-winded computations and making code easier to read. So, long-winded computation, white space is ignored inside parentheses and brackets. So, what is white space? I think it's this right here. These spaces. You too. Thank you. Thank you very much. You're a very kind person, and I hope all that kindness you share to strangers online comes back to you in many ways. List of lists. So you have a list, using these brackets, and they each consist a list in them, so that's why it's called list of list. Easier to read list of list is in a matrix format, sort of. So backslash can be used to indicate that a statement continues onto the next line. Rarely used though. So yeah, it just continues to the next line, but if it's rarely used, it's not that important. Modules. Certain features of Python are not loaded by default, so you're gonna have to load them by yourself. So in order to use them, you need to import the modules that contain them. There are different approaches to import. Simply import the module itself. Import system.path. Use alias. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt, plt.plot, blah blah blah. Import feature explicitly from collections. So this part makes it explicit, right? Import default dictionary counter. Lookup equals default dictionary integer. My counter equals counter. Right, so yeah, this is the from collections is what makes it explicit. You can use an alias. So what is an alias? Like another name for this module here, and then just say as plt, meaning plot lib pyplot, because this is really long. So yeah, that makes sense. Variables and objects. So a variable is created once it is assigned a value for the first time. No need to declare type. Types are associated with objects, not variables. Again, types are associated with objects, not variables. What is type then? I don't know. Okay. So this is an integer. This is a list. This is a string. Assignment creates references, not copies. So what is a reference? Oh, okay, so this is a list, right? And then this is, I guess these are all references. Not really sure. So yeah. Assignments. Multiple values can be assigned at the same time. Okay, I didn't know that. So you could assign values to two variables, x and y, at the same time. So if you want to swap the values, you just swap the variables after the argument. So assignments can be chained. So do x equals y equals z equals 3. Built-in numerical types, integer, float, or complex numbers. Strings can be delimited by single or double quotation marks, but the quotes have to match. So, what is delimited? I'm not sure. So, single quoted string equals data science, double quoted string equals data science. Python uses backslashes to encode special characters. For example, tab string \t. Hello, big deeds. represents the tab character. Hashtag is 1. So if you're gonna count the length of this, the length is 1. And if you want backslashes as backslashes, which you might in Windows directory names or in regular expressions, you can use raw strings using R quotation marks. So over here, if you have R quotation mark slash T, this represents the character backslash and T. So the length is now 2. Does that make sense? Yes, yes. Yes. Very good. Strings. To assign multi-line, use 3 double quotes. Multi-lines. So you have 3 double quotes, and then you start you could make more lines. Okay, pretty straightforward. So strings can be concatenated, glued together with the plus operator, and repeated with the multiplication star. So if you do 2 times py plus thon, you get python python. Or python, because you're only multiplying the py and then adding thon. Okay, so that makes sense. 2 or more string literals, i.e. the ones enclosed between quotes. So that's what a string literal is. So would you say this is a string literal? Because next to each other are automatically concatenated. Ah, so these automatically make Python. There's like some space in between. Who's sending so many hearts? Hello, the MP33404. Welcome to the stream. We are going over our study session. It's for an exam tomorrow on Python. So, yeah. Strings. A new feature in Python 3.6 is the f string, which provides a simple way to substitute values into strings. For example, if we had the first name and the last name given separately, we might want to combine them into a full name. There are multiple ways to construct such a full name string, and that is using the the concatenating method with the plus sign, adding a space in between so that you don't concatenate it so close that it becomes one word. Just supporting I had take Python classes too. Nice. That's great. That's wonderful. I hope you stick around, I guess. Yeah. I don't really know what to say, but thank you for your support, and yeah. So this is one way to construct a full name string. The second method is, what is this? This curly braces thing. I'm not sure what this is, but I'd guess it's an index, but index uses like the list bracket. Yeah, blah blah blah. I get it. It's boring, but you're watching anyway, so that's good. So dot format. You do this. Dot format, first name, last name. That's the format. And then the f string. This is what we were just going over. The f string, first name, last name. And this is preferred in the textbook. So concatenating is more effort than just using that f string. So that's good to know. Exceptions. When something goes wrong, Python raises an exception. Unhandled exceptions will cause your program to crash. You can handle them using try and except functions. So the try function prints 10. Okay, so this is dividing by 0. This gives you a 0 division error, right? So if you put that using except function, then that's how you avoid your thing to crash. Can't sleep. Don't you have Jupyter Notebook? I do, but my professor said that I could like use any other software to do Python coding. So I prefer using PyCharm over Jupyter because I don't really have experience with Jupyter, even though I heard Jupyter is better because it uses, or like it could um uh you could do more coding languages on it. But yeah, I just prefer Python because I already have like R, oranges and apples. Yeah. Oranges and apples are such a Python term. Like your basic coding, they always use oranges and apples for like an example. I even had to do that for my last Python project, although I used ChatGPT to do that. Although in many languages exceptions are considered bad, in Python there is no shame in using them to make your code cleaner, and we will sometimes do so. Why is that bad? Just use your shortcuts, bro. Lists, probably the most fundamental data structure in Python, is the list. So, it is simply an ordered collection. It is similar to what in other languages might be called an array, but with some added functionality. It is mutable and takes duplicated values. Yeah, ChatGPT is a must. You can put in code and it will run it or explain. Exactly. I don't get why they get so upset if you use ChatGPT for your projects and stuff. Like, it does not make sense. If it's there, it's there. You gotta utilize, technology, not just get mad at people who are using it. Blueberries. So, if you can't sleep, this will definitely put you to sleep. Because it's so boring. So it is mutable and takes duplicate values. Integer list, heterogeneous list, list of list length, with sum. You can get or set the nth element of a list with square brackets. So yeah, these are indexes. Yeah, it's a review and the other streams are weird. Yeah, this stream is probably the cleanest because I don't have any viewers. But yeah, use square brackets to slice lists. The slice I:(j) means all elements from I inclusive to j not inclusive. If you leave off the start of the slice, you'll slice from the beginning of the list, and if you leave of the end of the slice, you'll slice until the end of the list. So I j x colon 3 first 3. What is x? Negative 1, 1, 2, 3 to end. So you don't have to put anything here. You just put colon 3 and it'll go from the end of the list all the way to 3 without the 3. Yeah, it's a review. Okay. So this goes 3 to the end. This is the end. And then 1 to 4, 1 to 5, not including 5. Last 3 is negative 3 colon. Okay, without first and last. So you start from 1, even though that looks like it's the first, but the index 0 is the first. So you're starting from the first without the first, and then the last being negative 1, because that's the last part of the list, but we don't ever include the last number of the list when doing this colon thing. So the copy of x, this list x, is just colon. So that's how you just copy. And then another copy of x is x colon 3 plus x 3 colon. That seems weird. So you're doing 1 to 3 and then 3 to the end. Okay, actually that makes sense because you're doing 1 to 3, but you're not including the 3 in the end, and then this goes all the way to the end. Hi, it's dumb. Hello, welcome, IR Townsend. You have a nice voice too. It's like a grandma frog monkey. I mean, that's the only thing you could, I don't know, get from this stream. It's just my boring voice. But thank you for calling it nice. Yeah, it's okay. I get it. You're joking. So, a slice can take a third argument to indicate its stride, which can be negative. A third argument is stride. Okay, so that means it's the amount of steps. Okay, every third is this 3, and then -1 is going backwards. Makes sense. Python has an in operator to check for list membership. 1 in 1, 2, 3 is true. 0 in 1, 2, 3 is false. No, this check involves examining the elements of the list one at a time, which means that you probably shouldn't use it unless you know your list is pretty small, or unless you don't care how long the check takes. So concatenate lists 1, 2, 3, y is 4, 5, 6, x dot extend y, x is now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so using extend function. That makes sense. X is 1, 2, 3, x equals x plus 4, 5, 6. Y is unchanged. Or x is unchanged, y is now the same list as above. The answer is 2. Yeah, good job, Mr. BPD Blue Eyes 13. Welcome. X dot append 0, you're just adding 0 to the list now. Y equals x negative 1 equals 0, because this is the last number, and then -1 is over here, but you're not on the -1 side. That doesn't make sense though. Anyways, z is length x, which is equal to 4 because there are 4 elements in the list. I calculated it all in my head. Wow, you're very smart. Very, very smart. Congratulations. List. It's often convenient to unpack lists when you know how many elements. Bro is Albert Einstein. For real, that was impressive. Alfred Einstein. Not even Albert. Oh my god, he's Alfred. It's often convenient to unpack lists when you know how many elements they contain. However, you will get a value error if you don't have the same number of elements on both sides. So, x, y equals 1, 2, x is 1, y is 2, x, y equals 1, 2, sum is above, x, y equals 1, 2, sum is above, x, y is 1, 2, sum is above. Okay, so the only difference is you're putting brackets on each side, right? And it doesn't matter which way you put brackets, but if you have only y but no x here, this is the value error they're talking about. Modify content of list. X is from 0 to 8. X index 2 is x index 2 times 2. Alright, so what does that give you? So this is 0, 1, 2. So 2 times 2 is 4, right? Never mind, that's not the case here, right? We have x is 0 to 8. So x negative 1 is 0. How? Isn't the index -1 supposed to be from like this side? Oh wait, you're modifying the content of the list. Oh, okay, so that makes sense. Oh, I see here, it's not the same. Okay, so you got 4 here. X from the negative, x on the second index Times 2 is 4. Okay, so you're modifying it like that. Okay, that makes sense. Alfred Einstein changed history. You know what? That's so true. Alfred Einstein should be on a textbook. I'd buy that. So, delete x colon 2. I forgot what colon meant. What does colon mean? So, slicing. Oh, okay, so it's like from the beginning all the way to the second index without the second index in there. So, say 0, 1, 2 without this, so you're deleting 0 and 1. So then you get... What? How's it 4, 5, 12, 7, 0 now? Oh, wait. I was looking at this one. Actually, I skipped this one too. So 5 to 6 equals empty list. Right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 5 all the way to 6. But you're not including 6. So the fifth one is an empty list. So why is everything... Someone explain that? Julia Bari. Yeah. I'm trying to understand this one. Like, what is this? If not an empty list. Five and 6. 5, 2, 6. So this is like you're doing this modification after this one. So this is the list that you're working with, right? So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6, right? 0. There's an index 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is 6. So if there's an empty space between 5 and 6, but you're not including 6, then you're just working with 5, right? So if that's an empty list, no, that doesn't make sense. Okay. Someone's gonna explain this. Mr. ChatGPT. Explain this and how you get that outcome. I hated this part. Plus, he never really used this method in application. I'm from India. Where are you from? I'm from America. Giving and love. Gift giving and love. Bro, you're crazy. Now we're looking at my list. Okay, so alright, let's break down what this line means to step. Context X is a list. Example is the list. Understanding the slice. So understanding the slice. Take the slice X, start at the index 5, ending before index 6. So that's just 5. Yeah, I knew that. So because, but like, why did everything start to like multiply? Oh, sorry, Mr. Rohit. I mean, not Mr. Sister Rohit Giri. Wait, no, I read that as girl. Mr. I don't know. person Rahagiri7023. We are going over Python. Yeah, your explanation was good. I followed. Okay. Thank you for that. So 5 and 6, what assignment to a slice means. So when you assign to a slice in Python, you're replacing the part of the list with something else. Next 5 with 100 and 200. So that's the result. Now what happens with x5 to 6 equals empty list? You're replacing the slice 5 with nothing in empty list. Yeah, I mean, I said that, but that does not make sense though, because what? What was I looking at? This one? No. Was it this one? I have a lot to go over, as you can tell. Dang, what was I even looking at? Okay, I think it's this one. Yeah. Okay, so I don't know why it turned to 9, 12, and 7. I get why 70 is there. We're just removing the 5th index, right? 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It shouldn't have been 0, 1, 4, 3, 4, 6, 7, 0. Why is 6 now 12? Hoping that's a typo or something. But we're gonna know. Thank you for that. Of course, of course. Thank you for staying here even though you can't sleep. I'm surprised you're not asleep yet. Delete x colon 2. Actually, no, I gotta understand why it's... Even though I have so many things to go over, I need to understand why... Never mind, I can't really copy this. Put this on here. Blah, 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 blah. What's the answer? What's the answer? Let's go. Results. It's exactly what I was thinking. Screenshot it and put it to ChatGPT. It's fine. How do you even go to the... Okay. I don't know. That was definitely a typo for whoever made this slide. Delete x colon 2. So it's all the indexes 0, 1, 2, not including 2. So 0, 1 is gone, and then you left with that. Okay, that makes sense. Delete x colon. That's the whole thing, the whole copy, right? So it's just an empty list now. Delete x, referencing the x here after is a name error. So you're just deleting everything. Suicidal much? Okay. List strings can also be sliced, but they cannot modify. They are immutable. So, what does that mean? So S is the string, right? And A equals S. Index 0. Yeah. X equals S colon 2. That is just AB. Negative 3 colon. What is negative 3? 1, 2, 3. EFG, so it's just ABCD. Or, never mind, it's just EFG. S colon 2 is AB. Why is it caps? Okay, so you're trying to rename this AB to caps AB But you can't do that because that will cause an error because they're immutable. Okay, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. Ugh, the MP3 guy's gone. Type error, string objects does not support item assignment. Okay, that's the type error that we're seeing here. S equals AB plus S2 colon. String is now this. So that's how you basically go around the immutable aspect of a string, right? Because you're just copying basically everything that comes after B here, and then you're concatenating this string to that string, and then you get this. That's how you edit the string, or mutate it. So we've been studying for 30 minutes, 41 minutes now actually, which is crazy because we're only on slide 19. How many slides do we have left? Let's see. It's scary. Why is it so much? Lord have mercy, there's 60 slides. We're only a third in. That's fine. That's okay. That's right. Okay, range function. For I in range 5. Print I will print everything in the range of 0 to 5. Not including 5 because... Oh, you're still here. What's the difference between parentheses and brackets? Parentheses are for tuples, and brackets are for lists, right? So this is a tuple. Is it? I don't know. It's not. Yeah. In separate lines. For I in range 2 to 5, it starts with 2 all the way to 5, not including 5, so that's 2, 3, 4. For I in range 0, 10, 2, this is the step count, right? The strides, so you're going from 0 to 10, not including 10, but with steps 2, so only the even numbers, basically 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. For I in range 10 to 2, with backward strides, you have 10, 8, 6, 4, not including 2, right? That's the end of the range list. So here we have an example of this list. Mary has a cute kitten. I thought she had a lamb. I guess she has a kitten too. Yeah, I'm your biggest fan. Thank you so much. What the heck, BMW edits? Yeah, that's my first reaction to every Python. You know, it's a whole different language. It's literally called a language. So if it looks like a different language to you, that's because it is. His blueberries got soggy. So, for I in range length of A, which is this list here, and the length here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Print I, A, index I. So, what is I here? It's the length of A, right? That was 5, right? So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And yeah, that's what it printed out. So again, index I, you're printing I, right? And this is what I is. And wait, no, it's printing two lists, two columns, right? So printing I here, you're printing the length, and then the AI part is the word that goes with each length number. Anybody still watching? This is really important to understand because I saw that in the exam. So what are expected output for the following code? A is list range 10. I don't know. B equals A. B index 0 is 100. What is the list function? Would it be 0 all the way to 9? What are you saying no to? If it makes a list of range 10, it goes from the list 0 to 9, and then B is list 0 to 9, and then you're changing the index to 100, so it's gonna be 0 to 9 with the 0 part being 100. So if you print A, then you're gonna get 0 to 9. Printing B, you get 0 to 9 with 100 in the place of 0. And then A equals list range 10, same thing. B is a copy of A, I think, which is the same thing, right? It's two different ways to put and type the same like the same thing. Wait, it's not gonna say? It's not gonna say? Let's check ChatGPT. No, it's a freaking picture. I guess we gotta do that thing that you mentioned earlier. It's just, oh my god, where'd it go? I'm trying to put it on the desktop. I'm going to downloads. Oh, wait, it's right here. Okay. No, 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 no. Bruh. Okay, there we go. Let's go to PyCharm real quick. Got this here, printing B, and then we press type. Wait, why are they both the same? Shouldn't A... Oh, I guess because B equals A, right? Isn't that before this 100 thing? Wait, let's just do this part. Is it just gonna... That does not make sense to me. Oh, I never seen PyCharm. This is why Jupyter Notebook good. You can run it and see or just copy paste. Well, this makes it go vertical. B index 0 is the first entry in the list. Well, yeah, but like, why is A equal to that? I thought A would just be 9 or like 0 to 9, right? Because this is what A is. If you're saying B equals A, then A equals B as well. So it's both the same thing if they're equal to each other. Anyways, this is what we're doing, right? Yeah. Instead of making it full screen, let me just keep like this. So it's easier to move across. Okay, tuples. Tuples are list immutable cousins. Pretty much anything you can do to a list that doesn't involve modifying it, you can do to a tuple. Specify tuples by using parentheses or nothing instead of square brackets. So my tuple is 1, 2. My tuple is 1, 2. Other tuples 3, 4. My list is 1, 2. My list index 1 is 3. What? Okay, so you're modifying it. And then try my tuple index 1 is 3. Cannot modify tuple. Except try error. Okay. So this is the try except thing that we're using. So no, tuple is defined by comma, not parentheses, which is only used for convenience. I thought tuples are always using parentheses, but it's defined by a comma. I didn't know that. So A is 1 in parentheses. Type A returns integer. 1 comma returns a tuple. Oh, okay, so 1 comma returns tuple. In parentheses, a special syntactic form. Just play around with it, you got it. Print the first. Print A first. Okay. Let's see. Let's see. Well, that's what I did. That's why I got this. But if we take out this, then I would get what I was thinking first. Okay. Yeah. Bless you. Bless you too, I guess. You thought I was sneezing. I was just coughing because I was talking so much. I have water in this room. Anyways, I guess when you modify B, A becomes the same thing as B. What? Oh, I didn't put print B. Yeah. Okay, so empty tuples have a special syntactic form. Tuples can be sliced, concatenated, or repeated. Let me just make this full screen. So a tuple is 0 to 4. A tuple 2 to 4 would be 0, 1, 2, and 3. Okay, so same as a list, useful for returning multiple values from functions. Alfred Einstein would be so proud. Oh man, I miss that guy. Whoever he is. Useful for returning multiple values from functions. Definition, defining, or is it definition or defining? Define sum and product, xy, return x plus y, comma, x times y for sum and product. So SP equals this, equals to 5 and 6. SP equals to 5 and 10. Or of 5 and 10 is now 15 and 50. Wait, well, what is 15? How is 5 15? Sum of x and y. Okay, so 5 and 10 is 15, and then 5 times 10 is 50. Okay, so tuples in lists can also be useful for multiple assignments. So you're doing 2 at once? Okay. Dictionaries. Another fundamental data structure is a dictionary, which associates values with keys and allows you to quickly retrieve the value corresponding to a given key. So an empty dictionary is equal to 2 curly braces, and then just putting dict in front is a less Pythonic way of doing the same thing. Dict. Don't be dirty-minded. Grades equals Joel 80, Tim 95. So this is a dictionary literal, just like a string literal. You can look up the value for a key using square brackets, but you'll get a key error if you ask for a key that's not in the dictionary. So Joel's grade equals Joel. Grade's Joel. So it has to be in this format where the brackets come after a certain variable that has the dictionary literals in there. But if you try putting something that's not in the dictionary, you get a key error. So then you use the try except thing. Try Kate's grade equals to grades Kate, except key error, no grade for Kate. So grades Tim is 99, grades K equals 100. Known student equals length of grade. Okay. That's 3. Junie B. Cortez. What is this coding language's main use? What is it normally used for? Welcome back, Junie. The Python code is used for a lot of things. I think a lot of apps that you use are coded in Python. You know, I did a project on making a receipt list. So yeah, you can do that with Python. You can do a lot of honestly, I don't know the differences between different coding languages, but yeah. Python is just a simpler coding language there is. Or like more easier for humans to understand. So check for existence of key. Joel has grade. Joel in grades. That's true because of the dictionary key, literal that we had here. So Dave has grade. That's false because Dave's is not in there. Use get to avoid key error and add default value. So use get to avoid that and add a default value. So if you have someone like no one in there, then the default is none. Okay, so you just set the default, and then that's what you get if you, instead of an error, you could just put none. Because no one likes an error. Dictionaries can represent structured. Are you in slide 30 yet? Let's see. 26. Okay. Can represent structured data. There are better ways though. So tweet equals the dictionary users. Joel Gross. Text is data science is awesome. Retweet count 100. Hashtags data science awesome YOLO. Besides looking for specific keys, we can look at all of them. So tweet underscore keys is tweet dot keys parentheses. It's an iterable for the keys. There's an iterable for the values. So iterable for the key value tuples. Tweet dot items. Okay, so that's for both of them. And then user in tweet underscore keys is true but not Pythonic. User in tweet is a Pythonic way of checking for keys. So the simpler one is more Pythonic. So Joel Gruss in tweet values, true, slow but the only way to check. Okay, so I think the in function is the more, is the key way to find whether something is there or not. So dictionary keys must be hashable. What does that mean? In particular, you cannot use lists as keys. So if you need a multi-part key, you should probably use a tuple or figure out a way to turn the key into a string. I don't get what that means, but let's see here. Imagine that you're trying to count the words in a document. An obvious approach is to create a dictionary in which the keys are words and the values are counts. As you check each word, you can increment its count if it's already in the dictionary and add it to the dictionary if it's not. The first approach is you make the variable text equal to this sentence and then, or string, and then document is text.split. So didn't go over what the split function does. If anyone knows, put in the chat because I forgot. Word count is that empty dictionary. So for word in document, if word in word counts, word underscore counts word plus equals 1 else equals 1. How come they're just putting in the code without explaining each part like ChatGPT would? Like, what is this plus equals 1? Y'all skipped so many steps, bro. And the thing is already still 60 pages. Anyways, so what is the second approach? Alright, so first approach is the split, right? And then the plus equals. Second approach is the empty dictionary, and then 4 words in document, try and accept. Okay? And then the third approach is using get, as they mentioned earlier. So you put the get Wait, what are these approaches for anyway? What I forgot. As you check each word, you can increment its count if it's already in the dictionary and it's okay. So you're trying to count the words. So that's what the approaches are for. Hi. Whoa. Okay. Let's see. I don't have my safety pin. This is not iPhone 17. What is this? Oh, okay. I thought it was the power bank first. First I thought it was iPhone 17 and the power bank. That's so sweet of you. C61. Should I open it? Wow.
Cover show.
Cover show.
Just wow.
Wow.
Just wow. Charger আছে.
Nice. Okay, yeah. Bye-bye. Okay. Sorry about that. Yeah, that's why ChatGPT is based. Exactly. ChatGPT does all the explaining we need. Anyways, so hope y'all are still in the chat. All the viewers went down. But anyways, so previous count word underscore counts dot get word comma 0 word count word equals previous count plus 1. Okay. Who was that? That was my mom. My madre.
She'll be so happy.
Inshallah.
Quality দাম কত?
$120.
How do you know?
I just guessed.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
So default dictionary is like a regular dictionary, except that when you try to look up a key, it doesn't contain its first adds a key it doesn't contain. It first adds a value for it using a zero argument function you provided when you created it. Sounds like she gave you a gift. She actually got it for my mom's friend, but she was just showing me what that was. It's like a new phone. I think I got on your lively. That's completely fine. I mean, you know, here's some blueberries for you. You're not missing out on anything. It's pretty boring. But I'm so glad that you're like a returning viewer. That's so sweet of you to just study with me. Cause honestly, it gets really lonely when you study so much, and then like there's nobody there. I just miss my family when I'm studying, you know. But you can always make the most out of it. Alright, so in order to use default dictionaries, you have to import them from collections. Okay, so from collections, import that, and then the word count equals that. Integers produces 0 for word in document. Word counts word increments by 1. So they can be useful with lists or dictionary. Hello. Wait, you've been here. Why are you saying hello? You bored or what? How dare you be bored? I'm kidding. Here's a little cat for you. Yuki. Okay, so they can also be useful with list or dictionary, even with your own functions. So you're making that list, and then list produces an empty list, and then you append 1, and now that contains 2 colon index 1. Okay, and then you put a dictionary in the parentheses, which I'm produces an empty dictionary, and then you put Joel and city together, and then you get Seattle, because Joel is now in the dictionary of city, Seattle. Did any of you guys play The Last of Us? Because that's what the name Joel always reminds me of. I love that game. Kitty, yes, yes, sir. I'm assuming you're a sir. DD underscore pair equals default dictionary lambda 0, 0. So now you have the index 2 and 1 equaling to 1. I don't understand what that means, bro. Like, what list are we talking about? Index of what list? Is it the lambda? The lambda list? Going from 0 to 0? So I have an empty list here. And then this is an empty dictionary. And then... well, this doesn't make sense. I'm a they. Oh, so you're a 2-in-1 package. Hell yeah. Okay, so now DD underscore pair contains 2:01. They will be useful when we're using dictionaries to collect results by some key and don't want to have to check every single time to see if the key exists yet. Okay. No answer. Okay, I got work later, so good night, y'all. Good night, Junie B. Cortez. Thank you so much for stopping by. Look at this. Look at this. It's 12:58 a.m. on a Wednesday. My exam is in 23 hours and 4 minutes. Have a good day at work, by the way. And good night, Jeannie. So, a counter turns a sequence of values into a default dictionary integer, like object mapping keys to counts from collections import counter. C equals counter. So counter turns a sequence of values into a default dictionary. Okay, and then C equals counter from 0, 1 to 0. C is basically 0 to 2, 1 to 1, 2 to 1. Bye, Junjun. Are you in California? What makes you say that? Thanks. Good luck on your exam. Thank you so much, Junie B. Cortez. It's been a wonderful pleasure having you here, and you have been promoted to a moderator. So next time you come, you could stop anyone from being too weird. So yeah, print the 10 most common words and their counts. Most common. So for word, count in word counts. Most common. 10 is an example. It returns top 10 frequent words. So print word count. Dope. Much appreciated. Why are you gonna get weird, mister? You don't wanna be on the stream or what? Look at the time I looked at your other video. And I looked at your other video. What other video? Is it the Tom playlist? Cause I don't know how you could tell, but yes. Sets represents a collection of distinct elements between curly braces. Primes below 10, 2, 3, 5, 7. However, that doesn't work for empty sets, as the empty dictionary already means empty dictionary. In that case, you'll need to use set itself. Set is an empty set. S adding 1 to the set is now 1 in the set. Adding 2 is now 1, 2. Adding 2 is still 1, 2 because sets do not count duplicates. This is common sense. X is the length of S, which is 2. Y is 2 in S, which is true. Z is 3 in S, which is false. Makes sense? In is a very fast operation on sets, so a set is more appropriate than a list. Yeah, Cal Poly, it was blurry. Yeah. So stop words underscore list equals a and at plus hundreds of other words plus yet you zip in stop words underscore list false but have to check every element. Stop words underscore set equals set stop words underscore list zip in stop words underscore set. Wait, what the hell am I reading? Very fast to check. Oh, so you're checking for the words first in the code. I thought, strings come after certain functions, but you could put it first when you're using the function of in for checking for words in a set, right? So that's a fast way to check it. So set can be used to find distinct items in a collection. Items underscore list is this. So number of items is 6. Okay, so list can have duplicates. But if you if you put set first on this thing, then you have only 3 because you don't count duplicates anymore. So the number of distinct items is 3. Distinct items list item set. It's now the list of basically that set that we had. So sets are used less frequently than dictionaries and lists. Makes sense. Control flow if else. If 1 is greater than 2, the message is that. If it's greater than 3, the message is that. Otherwise, it's that, and then you print message. So the parity is equal to even if the modulus of x is equal to 0, otherwise odd. If then else in one line. Yeah, you can make it into one line easily instead of doing this whole thing. But no, the difference between Python 2 and Python 3 is that Python 2 prints is a statement. Print is a statement, and print message are both valid. In Python 3, print is a function. So only print message is valid. Okay, so you need the the parentheses for Python 3, but not Python 3, but not Python 2. So while loop is like this, x equals 0, while x is less than 10, you print the f string here, and then you increment it by 1, right? So f string Python 3.6 onward, same as print x is less than 10. So for loop, range 10 is the number 0 to 9. Yes. For x in range 10, print the f string. Pass for a in range 5 does nothing. It is an empty statement placeholder. Pass. So continue and break for x in range 10 if x is equal to 3. Continue if x is equal to 5, then break. So the output, what would it be? 0 to 9. If x equals 3, you continue. So you just go from, if it's 0, then what? You just keep going. I guess you print x, so you get 0, 1, 2, but you don't count 3. And then 4, but you don't count 5 because that's when you go break, right? So you only have 0, 1, 4. 0, 1, 2, 4. Right, yeah, that's how we have here. Anybody watching? Is anybody here still? Truthiness. Booleans in Python works. As in most of the language, except that they're capitalized. No. Well, thank you for being dishonest. 1 is less than 2. 1 is less than 2. 2 equals false. Equals false. Okay. Hi. I guess it's just you. Python uses the value none to indicate a non-existent value. Python uses the value none to indicate non-existent value. So we're 35 pages in, also an hour in. So that's not a bad pace. We're doing 2 minutes per slide. I guess that is kind of a bad pace though, because we could go 1 minute and then finish all the other things. I have a lot of slides to go. I mean, like presentations, like what do you call this? PDFs. Anyways, so Python uses the value none to indicate a non-existent value. It is similar to other languages null. So x is none. Assert x equal to none. And this is another Pythonic way. Assert x is none. This is a Pythonic way. Okay, so assert x is none. That's how you indicate a non-existent value. Okay, truthiness, true, false, none, and, or, not, any, all. All keywords are case sensitive. 0, 0.0, empty list, empty dictionary, parentheses, or like empty, or like just a space, string, empty set, none are considered false. Most other values are true. So these are all... Oh wait, none is also part of this thing. So these are all false. This is all false. Most other values are true. I'm searching for clue to you. Clue to me? Why? I'm literally here, bro. You don't need to find me. I'm literally here. So printing true if the empty if the space, else print false. If there is any character, print true, else false. I see you. Really? What do I look like? A equals 0, 0, 0, 1. Any A returns true. All A returns false. How does that work? Wait, print true if space, else print false. Really cute, and you're in a bunny suit. I'm sorry to break it to you, but I think that's like your reflection or something. So, any A returns true. Because there's a space. If you're doing any, but all, you're also including places where there are no space. That doesn't make sense, bro. Print true if space, else print false. If there's any character, print true, else false. Okay, whatever. Sorted list keeps the original list intact and returns a new sorted list. Sorted list keeps the original list intact and returns a new sorted list. So, list.sort, sort the original list by default from smallest to largest. So x is this, y equals sorted list, sorted x. And now x is 1 to 4. Change the default behavior of sorted. Sort the list by absolute values from largest to smallest. X equals sorted. Key equals absolute value. Reverse equals true. So this is the reverse absolute value. And without the key of absolute value, x is now this. Which is... why is it that? Okay, because it's going from highest to lowest. Okay. Because of reverse equals true. Sort the words and counts from highest count to lowest using anonymous function. WC equals sorted word count dot items. Key equals lambda word and count colon word and count index 1. Reverse equals true. So this is the anonymous function here that we're talking about, right? Lambda. So looking at the first index, what? Key equals lambda. I get that code. Oh, wait, what is all this? I'm kind of burning out. We have 22 slides left. And then we'll take a break, right? Should we take a break now, or I don't know. We'll just eat some blueberries. List, and the list is listed. Yeah, there are a lot of lists here. A convenient Pythonic way to transform a list to a new list. So you have this list here. And then x for x in range of 5. If x modulus 2 is 0, gives you this list. And then squares x times x for x in range of this. We're just multiplying it by itself, and then you're squaring it, I think. Wait, where did 1 come from? This is wrong, bro. Right? Blueberries are gonna make you have wild dreams. I already have wild dreams, honestly. I have, like, philosophical dreams. I have, like, existential crisis in my dreams, and then I wake up, and then I find the answers. It's like, what is the purpose of life? And I wake up and I'm like, oh, God exists. I don't know why I didn't remember that in my dream. So, even underscore squares is x times x for x in even numbers. This is the outcome I expected for this one. But I guess you're just doing... Never mind. So, 0 times 0, 1 times 1, 2 times 2, 3 times 3, 4 times 4. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so turn list to dictionaries and sets. So how do you turn this list into a dictionary? This list? What is X? What is this? I forgot that. This is I forgot what that colon is. Slicing? So X to X times X for X is this. So you have X to X times X, 1 to 1, 2 to X times X, 3 to 3 times 3, 4 to 4 to 4, 4 times 4. Okay, that makes sense. This makes sense. Square underscore set equals X times X for X in 1 to negative 1. So X times X of this would be 1 times... Oh, how's this only 1? Oh, I guess because both of them you're doing 1 times 1 and then negative 1 times negative 1. So why would it give you only 1 if you have 2 of them? Oh, I guess because... Oh, that's a set. Okay, so you have 2 answers, but they're the same answers, and you don't have duplicates because it's a set. Okay, that makes sense. Okay. And zeros is 0, 4 underscore in even numbers. Why is there a red line here? What does that mean? So this is a list. Use underscores if no values needed. No value needed. Oh, so if you have for no value in even numbers. So what is this even number function here? I mean variable here. We have 0 to 4. And then you just replace it with zeros, so you have 3 zeros. The space has same length as even numbers. What is this dash? Is it this one? Or are we counting these spaces? Wouldn't it be 2? Or are we counting these? Chew louder, please. It's so squishy. Oh, sorry if I'm chewing loudly. That's kind of rude. I have 3 grapes left. This is not a mukbang. 424 eggs, eggs for eggs. Dictionary is like an Excel sheet. I have historic signals in my dreams about Python and the universe. 1. Chew louder. ASMR. Does that satisfy your need? It's not like Baymax. Can include multiple for pairs equals xy for x in range 10 for y in range 10. 100 pairs 0, 0, 0, 1 all the way to 99. That doesn't make sense. Because why are they different? Why is it only same on the front and that one? Shouldn't it be the same if they have the same range? Do you know why? I'm never satisfied. You are truly human. Humans are never satisfied. So, later 4s can use the results of earlier ones. Increasing underscore pairs xy for x in range 10 for y in range x plus 1 to 10. X plus 1, 10. So this is range 10 plus 1 and then 10. So you have 1 0 1 0 plus 1 high. What? This makes absolutely no sense. Low high equals. I'm starting to have you seen Blades of Glory? No, what is that? What is the expected outcome of the following code? Pairs equals the list x and y for x in range 5, that'd be 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, for y in range 5. Would that not be the same? Wouldn't the output just be... Why are they different, bro? I don't understand. Oh, wait. Are they getting every combination of zeros and all the way to 4s? Because I don't see another 2 and 2. They're having 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. 1, 1, 1, 1. 2, 2, 2, 2. 3, 3, 3, 3. 4, 4, 4, 4. Okay. And then, I guess that makes sense. And then the increasing pairs for x in range 3, you have 0, 1, 2. For y in range x plus 1, 2, 3. I don't understand this part. You have 0, 1. Don't you have 0, 1, and 2? Why is it only 0, 0, 1? Sus. For y in range x plus 1, 3. So if your x is 0, then you have 0 and 3. And then you have 2 and 3. And then you have 3 and 3, but there's no 3 in x, so you go back to 1. What? Wait, this is the range. That means there shouldn't be a 3. I don't understand this. Okay, let's ask ChatGPT. Funny movie, but study. Thank you for the advice. Let's see here. Can you explain range x plus 1, 3? Absolutely. Let's pack this carefully. Let's see this part. The outer loop for x in range 3, that part makes sense. I understand that part. The inner loop for y in range x plus 1, 3, this one depends on the current value of x. So if we have 0 for x, then the range would be 1, 2, 3. That means x is 1 and 2. Well, that's what I was thinking, but then I was like, if this is also part of the range, then do we count 1 and just put 0 instead? But I guess because that's not the ending part of the range, we don't care about that. So the pairs are 0, 1, 0, 2. So when x equals 1, you get that. And when x equals 2, you get that. So the final list is that. Naruhodo. Okay, that makes sense now. Thanks, ChatGPT. So, automated testing and assert. There are elaborate frameworks for writing and running tests. One way is assert statements. It raises an assertion error. Oh no, I ran out of blueberries. It raises an assertion error if the specified condition is not met. So, if you assert 1 and 1, you get 2. If you assert 1 and 1 equals 2, 1 and 1 should equal 2, but didn't. Huh? Oh, so this is just a string you're putting next to this thing here. So the definition. Defining smallest item is extra small. Returning minimum extra small, you assert this. List equals 5, incorrect min value. Bro, I need water. I'm gonna get water. Stay put, please. And thank you. Okay, I'm back. This is the first time I'm seeing "Be safe, don't fall." Wow, you heard that? Did you hear my dad too? This is the first time I saw my dad today, and he's just yelling at me. You're quite the loyal viewer. It shows that there's only one viewer. Anyways, so insert small items 0, 1, -1, 2, equaling to -1 with that string incorrect minimum value. And then assert things about the inputs to functions. Definition or defining smallest item x or small, assert x, and then return. So wait, I already did all this. I think a lot of these slides are duplicated, which works in my favor because I was pretty overwhelmed looking at these things. Unless my thing is tripping, because what is happening? Let me just look here. Did it go backwards? Why is it showing page 25? Oh my god. Okay, we did all this. Oh man, I thought, man. Okay, at least we're on page 41 now. So iterables and generators. Generators can be iterated over just like lists, but generate their value lazily on demand. Oh, so first method is yield instead of return. So the definition generate underscore range of n, I equals to 0 while I is less than n. Yield 1. Every call to yield produces a value of the generator. Duplicated? What does that mean? Oh, I thought the slides were duplicated, not duplicated. Like, they're, yeah, but they weren't. So my hopes got crushed because I didn't want to do all 60 slides, but we have to grind through it, anyways, just like everybody else. And oh my goodness, the worst part is that there are actually, let me check. There are actually how many slides? Oh gosh, there's well, I'm putting this aside. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 to go over. But we're going over 1 right now, so 7 left. Hi. Unless that was an accident. Yeah. Look at this. Already 1 hour and 24 minutes of screen time. And the time is only 1:28. That's the whole entire time. That's crazy. Okay. Continuing on with this. The following loop will consume the yielded values one at a time until none are left. For I in generate range of 5, print the f string I to set I or dictionary of I. What? I don't get that code, bro. So the output is okay. So this is a string, right? This is the f string here. So you're just putting this insertion of whatever I is, and I is generating the range of 5. So that's 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the f string will give this output. Okay, that makes sense. But why is it like a column? What makes it a column? I'm not sure, but anyways, with a generator, an infinite sequence can be created. Break logic needed. So, second method, 4 comprehensions wrapped in parentheses. Wait, never mind, you got test. You should do the Pomodoro clock 50 minutes, study 10-minute breaks. I know, right? But like, I don't know. I'm just trying to grind as much as I can. That's why the live is 100 minutes so far, which is crazy because I'm just like yapping away. That's why I have to get water. because my voice is fading by talking so much. Okay, so second method for comprehensions wrapped in parentheses. Even, okay, this variable evens below 20. I for I in generate range of 20, that's 0 to 19, if I modulus 2 is 0. So L is the list evens below 20. So the list here would be 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, all the way to 18. And not infrequently, when we're iterating over a list or a generator, we'll want not just the values, but also their indices. For this common case, Python provides an enumerate function, which turns values into pairs, index, and value. So, let's say we have a list of names, strings, not Pythonic for I in range length of names, printing the f string blah 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 is blah blah blah. So this is not Pythonic. The Pythonic way is for I, comma. Doesn't this comma make it a tuple? Name is enumerate names. So the print f string I is this. Oh, this was on my exam, bro. So the exam was in 2 parts. What is this? Grind and torque. Yeah, I feel you. Ew. Disgusting. Get your head out of the gutter. It'll be better for you. Okay, so print the f string I is names I. Names I. What is that? Okay, so this is f string name I is names I. What would that print out though? I guess it would say Alice is, or actually, if I is the range of length of this, so this would be 0, 1, 2, 3. It would say, oh no, wait, length is not 0, it's not an index, so it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. So length is 4. So 1 is Alice, 2 is Bob, 3 is Charlie, 4 is Debbie. That's what it would print out. So generating random numbers are important in statistics. Import random.seed of 10. So generating random numbers are important in statistics. This ensures we get the same results every time. So print random.randm parentheses. 4 uniform randoms equals random.randoms parentheses 4 underscore in range 4. So that'd be random 0, random 1, random 2, random 3. And then you'd get this value for random 0, I think. And then 1, 2, 3. Uniformly between 0 and 1. Okay, so this value between 0 and 1. Is it always like that for every value you put in this function here? It's the random function we'll use most often. Okay. So random.randRange takes either 1 or 2 arguments and returns an element chosen randomly from the corresponding range. 44, bro, I'm like turning 50. Okay, so random.range 10, choose randomly from range 10. Okay, so it chooses between 0 and 9. Okay, and then you have 2 now, so it chooses 2 or what? Takes either 1 or 2 arguments. So you're choosing randomly from range 3 to 6. Oh, okay, so you're choosing between these. But it's like a range, so you're random range. So you're getting 3, 4, and 5. Okay, that makes sense. Wait, how is this random? If you're putting 2 and then we're randomly choosing from this, but it gives you this list. I don't think it gives you a list though. So random.shuffle randomly reorders the elements of a list. So up to 10, you have up to 10, and then random shuffle, just randomly shuffle it. Pretty straightforward there. Okay, so the result will probably be different. It will, yeah, because it's random. Like the seed, right? The seed, I don't think it's random. But random.randint AB randomly returns an integer from range A and B. Randomly returns an integer. So that's what int stands for. And then random.sample randomly chooses a sample of elements without replacement, i.e. with no duplicates. Random.choice randomly chooses a sample of elements with replacement. So choice is like the thing in statistics. It's like parentheses, but you have 2 numbers, i.e. with duplicates. Okay, functions. Are we getting there? Oh my gosh, 15 slides left. I'm burning out, bro. Let's see. The names and numbers, think of an Excel spreadsheet and it adds a new column numbering it. The names and numbers. Okay. Functions are defined using define keyword. So define double X, this is where you put an optional doc string that explains what the function does. For example, the function multiply has its input by 2. Return X multiplied by 2. A function can be called after it is defined. Z equals double 10. Z is now 20. Okay. So you're defining this thing that you made up, but then you're returning this. So now, when you plug it in, it's defined. So assigning default values to arguments / parameters. Finding my print gives you this message. So you print out the message in it, bro. And then you get my print hello world prints hello world. I think that's like a Alan Walker song. Hello world prints my default message. Okay, we're spending too much time. So function, sometimes it is useful to specify arguments by name. So defining the subtract a equals b equals 0, b equals 0, returning a and b, a minus b. So subtract 10, 5, you get 5. Subtract 0, 5, you get negative 5. Subtract b equals 5. Why is it same as above? What? Okay, so you're just setting it basically to the same thing. Subtract b equals 5, a equals 0, same as above. Okay, so functions are objects. Defining double x, return x times 2. D equals double. D is 2 would be 2 times 2 gives you 4. Define apply to 1 f, return f 5. X. Are you there? Apply to 1, double, print x. X is 10. Yeah, functions lambda expression. This is the most important part because this was hard to just guess. Let me drink some water. It's 1:40 a.m., bro. That's crazy. That 1 hour and 40 minutes just went by like that. Okay, so So a lambda function is a small anonymous function. A lambda function can take any number of arguments but can only have one expression. So the syntax, lambda arguments expression. So arguments and then the expression. So let's say you're defining this variable apply to 1 of f, returning f of 5. So x equals apply to 1 lambda, and then that's the argument, and then that's the expression, x. So defining my function of n, returning lambda a to a times n. A to a times n. My doubler equals my function 2. Print my doubler 11. I'm not really understanding this line, this chunk of code here, or like these two chunks of code. Like I get you like, what is the expected result for these two codes? X is 2. Second code returns 22. Why would it return? Okay, so if x is 2 here, okay, so is f here range? Oh, never mind. Is this 125 or something? Apply to 1 lambda x to x minus 3. So 5 to 5 minus 3. Wait, no, this is the argument. And then the expression is x minus 3. So you're just doing 5 minus 3, that would give you 2. You don't have to pay attention to this part. This is not anything to worry about. This is the most important part, x minus 3. And then this is the input, right? Yes, sir. So ignoring this, we have a times n, and then, well, n is not really defined, but if you say this is n here, right, and then your doubler is 2, so then 2 times 11 is 22, right? Am I right? Is this a and then this is n? Okay, so no, this is n. That's 2. So n is 2 and a is this one? Well, it has to be because it's 22, but like, how do you know a is this one? Anyways, next, map, filter, and reduce. Lambda, Damblin, lambda. Yes. Sometimes we sound like Bulgogi. About too sleepy. Good night, ma'am. What? Good night to you too. You're definitely sleepy with the way you're talking right now. I don't know though. Sleepiness is not an excuse to talk like that. You need fear of God. The names and numbers think. Okay. Goodbye. Python provides several functions which enable a functional approach to programming. Python provides several functions which enable functional approach to programming. These functions are all convenience features in that they can be written in Python fairly easily. Anybody here map function times iterable? Does not confuse with map reduce in big data. Convenient tools in Python to apply function to sequences of data. Oh, who's here? Is anybody here? Defining double of n. Return n times 2. L here is an empty list. For I in range 5, we have 0 to 5, or 0 to 4, L dot append double I. So if double is n times 2, right, then that would be basically 0 to 4, each element being doubled would give you 0 to 4, 9, and 16. And then X is range 5, L is list, map. Wait, what is map? It's the function and the iterable, right? So you have my string is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Result list map lambda. X, Y. My string, my numbers. Print results. It would give you A in 1, B in 2, C in 3, D in 4, E in 5. Okay, so we have what is map though? What is map? Function and then the iterable. So map here, this is the function, and this is the iterable. So you want it in this form with these iterables? Huh? What are you still doing here? And you're getting crazy, bro. Just go to sleep, bro. Honestly. Map. Let's ask ChatGPT what map does. What does map function do? I don't know why they didn't introduce what map does. Like, what is the iterable in this case? Is X? But what does iterable even mean? Function is double, and then the X would be... Okay, kid. You do not need to do that. If you know... Okay. Map, filter, and reduce. The filter method filters the given sequence with the help of a function that tests each element in the sequence to be true or not. Filter function interval. Sequence with the help of a function that tests each one. So you have 0 to 13, 0, 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. And then the result is the filter lambda, the modulus 2 is not equal to 0, list of 7. Result containing odd number of the list. So you have 1, 3, 5, and 13. Okay, that makes sense. I don't get the math though. I'm still thinking about the math. What is this thing? Anyways. Are we done yet? What the hell? 51? Okay, so map, filter, and reduce. The reduce function in sequence function is used to apply particularly function passed in its argument to all of the list elements mentioned in the sequence passed along. This function is defined in functools. So from functools, import reduce. No, I got that one wrong. I put statistics. That's so sad. Because add and multiply were like kind of statistics functions basically. I got that question wrong. Oh my god, that's so sad. Imagine I'm studying all this and then this part of the exam is not gonna be tested since I was already tested on part one. Oh, my professor is gonna really be concerned with my grade and be like, what the hell? Why is this grade so low? You didn't even study, man. Wait. 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 What was the first slide? So all of the things that we were tested on was on this slide. Oh my god, that's crazy. Because guess what? That means we're not gonna be tested on this. I was going over it for no reason. I hope no, we can't do the first test anymore. That's crazy. I wish I knew. Like what was gonna be on the exam. Map, filter, and reduce. At least I know like how to study now. Just study everything. Right? Just don't be lazy. Do the hard thing. We've been studying for 2 hours. And honestly, it would have helped if I did this the day before my first exam. So, yeah. So, this is functools module. Functool, import, reduce. Zip and argument unpacking. The zip function transforms multiple iterables into a single iterable of tuples of corresponding function. List 1 is 3 characters, list 2 is 3 integers, so zip is lazy, so you have to do something like the following. Pair for pair in zip, list 1, list 2 is all of these. Alright, so if these lists are different lengths, it stops as soon as the first list ends. So, to unzip, use asterisk. Zip, pairs, print letters, print numbers, args and quarks. For arbitrary numbers of arguments, we use args or quarks. Args is a short form of arguments. With the use of args, Python takes any number of arguments in user-defined function and converts user inputs to a tuple named args. In other words, args. What are you still doing here, bro? But yeah, quarks. Is that like a reference or anything? I'm thinking of quartz in Minecraft from the Nether. When you define function without args, it has fixed numbers of inputs, which means it cannot accept more or less arguments than you defined in the function. I'm trying to hit. Are you chopped? Quarks stands for keyword arguments. It is very similar to args in terms of its objective, but there are some differences explained below. Quarks creates dictionaries, whereas args creates tuples. So quarks is like, I know that a maybe. Is that a maybe? No. That's crazy for you to ask that. But by using quarks, you can name your arguments, which is not possible in args. You can name your arguments. So you can name it because it's a list. No, it's a dictionary. And the args creates tuples. So you can't name that. So args and quarks, arbitrary numbers of arguments using args or chords. Args is a short form of arguments. With the use of args, Python takes any number of arguments in a user-defined function and converts the input. Blah. I don't want to read any of this. It doesn't make any sense. I guess. Okay, we're almost done. 7 more. Let's just look at. Okay, I like this kind of slide. Okay, we don't have to look at any of this. We're almost done. This is great. Absolutely fantastic. I guess we're only 2 slides away. Okay, so args is a short form of arguments, which the use of args, Python takes any number of arguments in user-defined function and converts user inputs to a tuple named args. In other words, args means 0 or more arguments, which are stored in a tuple named args. When you define a function without arguments, it has a fixed number of inputs, which means it cannot accept more or less arguments. I literally just read this, bro. What? Args, quarks creates dictionary. Okay, I know that. Args and quarks define magic. Args, quarks. Print unnamed args. Args. What the hell is this? What am I reading? Print keywords args, quarks. Magic 1 2 key equals word, key 2 equals word 2. Prints unnamed args 1 2. Args is a tuple and quarks is a dictionary. So the unnamed args, this is the tuple, right? Because you have these 2 values here. And then the keyword args creates the dictionary with these 2 keywords here. And what is magic? Magic is the function that we are defining. And these are the inputs of this function here. So you're printing the unnamed args because args can't be named. Alright? And then you're printing keyword args as quarks. Oh wait, this is a string, right? So printing these 2. Okay, that makes sense. So you also use a list or a tuple and dictionary to supply arguments to a function. To supply arguments. So definition or defining other way magic. This function has, what is this? 3 variables. Yay! And then you get xy list equals 1 2, and then z dictionary equals 2, z string into 3, and then you assert this function here, and you have 2 inputs here, and you have this. Wait. Hi. Me.
Oh my god, trying to get a key.
Are you sure? So big.
Should be there.
Yeah. Well, not that much, but okay. So x plus y plus z is 1 plus 2 plus 3 should be 6. This is.
Are you by yourself or with someone?
I'm by myself. There's like 0 viewers. And then this is quarks. This is args, quarks. Args is a tuple. I don't know. And then we're done. So we're done with these. That means we're done with this. I don't need this. I don't need this. Statistics. Oh Lord. 44 slides. This is 44 slides. What is this? Linear algebra? 22. Not bad. What is this? Introduction? 25. Okay. What is this? I don't know. Pandas. R Studio. Okay, let's just quit this. Wait, oops. I shouldn't have done that. This one. We should have quit this one. Quit this. This one. Quit this. This one. Quit this. This one. Quit this. And then remove it as well. Force quit. Remove this. Quit this. Quit. Get out of here. Okay. And then okay. So basics of statistics. The field of statistics provides techniques for collecting, analyzing, and gaining insight from data. Data science relies on statistics to make data-driven decisions and solve problems. Example, a data scientist uses a statistical model to predict sales based on possible marketing strategies. Statistical techniques are used throughout the data science lifecycle. So, probability is the foundation of inferential statistics. Understanding the statistical techniques of a data science project ensures results are appropriately interpreted and communicated. So, statistical measures are range, mean, and standard deviation. Correlation statistics is used in machine learning for better understanding data to create models. I've been studying for 2 hours, so I think I'm done. Really?
গাড়ি চালা যেটা অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট করছে
What?
হ্যাঁ একটা টেসলার সাথে প্লিজ